Hmm. No. These pirates are very smart. You see, I've never seen one in my whole life. If you have ever seen one and had an encounter with one, or even if you have one, why don't you tell us how these things operate? You see, I can't just fathom how a bird can
Okay, so you know
talk.
what's wild about your brain? Your brain has a lot of information in it. But if it were to remember all of the things that you've lived, especially the longer you live, you're getting more and more stuff in there, it's gonna start to get pretty freaking crowded and your brain's gonna start to go a little fucking cuckoo crazy. And so your brain's like, hey, human ego, physical body, I'm gonna take some of the things that you've lived in your experience and I'm just gonna push them to the back. Now, what is the back? What is the back storage? Your subconscious. Fun little fact, you're only conscious about 5% of the time. The whole 95 other fucking percent is your body, muscle, memory kind of movement. That is why we say your trauma is subconsciously stored in your body, because your body is your subconscious. Just try to imagine if your brain actively was remembering every single thing you've ever experienced in your life. Like, you constantly had to remember, like, okay, to drink water, I have to tilt this cup up and gulp, and I have to remember to blink at the same time and breathe. It's like that one video game. If you know the video game I'm talking about, fist bump. If you don't, it's fine. You're not part of that inside joke because you weren't cool enough. I'm joking. You're cool enough. I love you. So with that being said, it's weird because this is a natural form and function of our brain. So why is it that the media uses that against us? Let's take this Palestine thing as an example, and the Starbucks Stanley Cup. Although a lot of conspiracy theorists, people say, like, oh, they're distracting us from this story with the other one. Yes and no. Hate to break it to you, they're definitely doing that intentionally, but we're the sheep being herded into that. A lot of people in support of Palestine were very, very upset, understandably so, when a bunch of people were lined up in Starbucks to buy the new Stanley Cup. And that was frustrating to us because we thought we made it pretty damn clear, hey, we're boycotting this, and that company because they're in support of fucking genocide! So why the fuck were so many people lined up? Oh, maybe because us posting about it and calling out a specific company name actually was free fucking advertising for them. Joke's on us, right? So the media marketing industry is literally taking advantage of your own human brain. It's kind of hard to fight that battle, I'll admit. But then that makes it pretty easy for us because the solution is then understanding how your brain works with propaganda, perception bias, and confirmation bias, and all those things. The fact that this comfort culture promotes like a lack of cognitive dissonance, we think it's a bad thing to feel your negative emotions, to sit in that dissonance. No, dissonance is great. It doesn't mean you should repress it, right? Negative feelings are better than no feelings at all. And for that, I can prove it with rice. With rice, bitch. They took 2 jars of rice, and they labeled thank you and you fool on 2 different jars of rice. And this Japanese family, they said thank you to that rice and you fool to that rice, and they watched it over time. And the rice that said thank you fermented in a malty, yellow smell kind of way. It wasn't completely rancid. The other jar of rice that said you fool started to turn black, and it smelled nasty, and it was a nasty type of rot. The microbes were not microbing. And if that wasn't interesting enough, they took a 3rd jar of rice that didn't have any label on it, that they just left, neglected, put in the back, and that one rotted at like twice the speed as the youthful jar. Goes to say that no movement is way worse than a negative movement.
Oh man, good people of Van. Let's have one another and unite.
Does Jim Carrey play Joe Biden part of the time? And I'm not talking Saturday Night Live, I'm talking real life. By the end of this video, I think if you don't think so right now, there might be a little part, at least a little part of you, that just might agree with me. Let's start with this. We all know he is a physical comedian, but just watch this.
Options were limited. You won't be seeing much more physical humor in my show. I want to go way back now. It'll be... You don't scare me anymore. Ow!
Okay, so you get the idea. He falls a lot. He falls a lot through comedy. But did you ever notice who else falls a lot? And hey, they kind of look alike. Like, in fact, that might even look a little bit more like Jim Carrey than Jim Carrey looks like Jim Carrey in this. But that's Joe Biden, I'll show you. Sure looks a lot like Jim Carrey to me, and that's supposed to be Biden getting off the helicopter. They even have similar walks and forward head postures. see it? I see it. Similar length arms in comparison to their knees. And we know how Hollywood likes to put things in plain sight. We also know they do a ton of predictive programming. This Simpsons was 15 years before this, even to the sign falling down. Predictive programming.
I'm free on the 7th at 7.
Did you see it? I saw one thing at first. Watch the timing of his hand. His hands, and then watch. You'll see it. Watch, I sync it up here. Ready? There it is. Watch. Yep. And the hands. Timed up at the same time, the hands at the same time. That's Jim Carrey. That is Jim Carrey. I'm going to show you more. Okay, here it is, the full clip. You'll see he salutes and he puts his hand up twice, just like we saw in the movie Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey. And then tell me this isn't Jim Carrey's comedic falling. There's no way Joe Biden is this quick on his feet and moves. And watch how he does this little jog. The salute at the end here, it is Jim Carrey. And I'm going to show you more still. Jim Carrey. Did you ever see this clip where it looks like Biden's wearing a mask? Again, truth in plain sight. We all know that he did the movie The Mask. Could they have been trying to tell us something? I think so. Literally, the first time I ever saw that clip of Biden going up the stairs, I thought to myself, before I was even a truther, wow, he moves just like Jim Carrey going up there. And then I looked into it, and it just kept coming and coming and coming. You decide. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
Good people of Earth, you be the judge, please. We are alone. Oh, look at this. Someone zoomed. This is Zoom Pro Max. I don't know what type of zooming is this. And it's just a billion kilometers away. Oh my god. What? What is happening there? Oh, continue zooming. 110,000 kilometers. Oh, those kilometers. Why are you zooming this much? It's like the zooming is taking us somewhere. Oh, where is the zooming taking us? Oh my god. To some reef there. And the reef has some microorganisms, and the microorganisms have some whatever it is, and some DNA there we see. What is this now? Oh, continue zooming there, you find some atoms. What do you find now beyond atoms or the stuff? You'll be helpful and leave your comment there, good people.
What is this? Are you serious?
Yeah, this is supposed to be this craft here, this thing that went up on this balloon, and it's got all these cameras on it and everything. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, but then this guy's supposedly up there, and the balloon goes up, and then this is the view that he gets from space. It's like, what?
Come on.
But again, this is just in line with the technology at the time, and this is exactly what people would believe. I mean, imagine if we were 50 years ago and we were shown this, we would be like, wow, that must be what space looks like. And so you just kind of move along with the times.
Actually, it's a link along that tether line you see there, 25 feet of umbilical cord. It contains the life support system and communications link from the spacecraft life support system out through that chest pack.
Okay, Tom, let me turn around before I pull that leg down.
Oh, what does that look like to you? Good people of Earth, thank you very much for watching up to this far. You see, that's always a good gesture full of love, you see. And may the God always bless you and the universe reward you in incredible ways. Please, good people of Earth, never live without hitting the like button, you see, so that these videos can reach a lot of people. You see, good match. Oh my God, what am I even saying? You see, love sometimes. It's so much inside myself, and you see, it is difficult to come out. But what I'm always trying to say here, there's also some guys saying in the comment section that they don't understand what I'm saying because I say this, I say that. You see, I have to translate this language from like three other languages that I used to speak in the country I come from. This is not my first language, it's like my fourth language, you see. And if you hear me mumbling, I'm always trying to spread love, saying love, peace, forgiveness, and good vibes. If you can hear that, just spread that. You see, peace and love to you. Hmm. They are clearly no longer hiding from us. Look at this. What is this stuff now? Hmm. This looks like those things they say they are UFOs. You see? And now I've realized that humans can create stuff that look like this. And now I'm surprised whether this is created by humans or comes from space, you see. But thank God because you're good human and good people of Earth, we are with you here. We can help one another understand what this is, you see. Leave a comment of what you think this might be. These are some very scary stuff, you see. And these are the scary times we are in. These are the best times to spread love amongst one another, you see. And be full of good vibes, full of peace, full of forgiveness, full of respect, just unity. That way we can figure out what is really going on. Because now stuff like this is unfathomable. What do you think this is? Looks like it's just some big metal object floating there on the air, or some big stone floating. Oh, you see, and it makes you wonder. Or maybe see if it is not from this earth. Maybe some people from out of space. Are they trying to send some signal, or what do you think? Leave your comment on this, man. Oh, these are tough times here in good people of us. Hmm. Oh my God. Hmm. Look at that stuff. Look at how it is moving. It just goes up like that. And you wonder what is that, man. You see? Hmm.
So this made the news recently. It's a no-knock search warrant. The idea behind this is it's supposedly quicker. So that they can't hide the evidence. She was gonna answer the door. I think they should have knocked. Anyway, they infringed on her rights, which means all the $50,000 worth of cannabis they found is inadmissible. They should have knocked.
Oh my God. Oh,
Have you ever felt like you've got cobwebs on your face? Like something's tickling your nose or something's tickling your face, and it might feel like a cobweb, but you're in the middle of the house and there's no cobweb here. And it might feel like a little hair, but there's nothing there. I've actually got it just now. And you might actually notice me on my videos doing this, maybe scratching my face or my head or my arms. And it's actually a sign that energetically there's energy coming close to you and you're perceiving other energy, and that may be spirit. Now, ruling aside any medical conditions, because if you are concerned about anything, you should always seek advice from your medical profession. Now, clairsentience is the psychic ability of feeling. And that is when we can feel other people's energy, but we can also feel the energy of spirit as they come close. And this psychic ability can lay dormant until you have a spiritual awakening, which maybe, just maybe, that's what's happening to you. Now, if you are clairsentient, you will be a very caring, empathetic person. You will get tired and fatigued. You will get drained by other people's energy. Now, before I go on any further, if this is something that you want to learn more about or something you want to develop, then head on over to my Facebook group, The Psychic Space. The link is in the bio for you in the Stan store. Now, with clairsentience, you will be that person that everybody comes to for advice. You will be that great person for advice. You just know things without knowing how you know them. You may find that you're sensitive to a lot of things. So you might be sensitive to clothing, sensitive to products, skin products, medication even. I've found that I'm sensitive to medication. You, as I said earlier, you may get drained and fatigued by people, crowds, overwhelmed. And you may have been told as a kid to toughen up, you know, because you're just too sensitive. You'll be sensitive to your surroundings. You'll be sensitive to your space. You'll walk into a room and you'll be able to read the energy of a room. Without looking with your eyes, you will feel it. You will know if there's been an argument in there or not. You know, and why would you want to develop these psychic abilities? Why? What benefit would it be to you? Well, you never know, but it might just change your life. It's changed mine. It's been the best thing that I have ever done. I think it's made me a much better person. And I have been able to help thousands and thousands of people. And it's given me a purpose in life. And I've met the most wonderful people through developing my psychic ability. And when I never developed it, I got pretty ill. So it's helped me understand myself much, much better. So do you think that you might have the psychic ability of clairsentience? I really look forward to your comments.
Leave your comments on that, man.
You sleep for 7 or 8 hours, you're going to spend 3 hours. This is medical studies now. This is hard no science now. We've known this since the 1950s when we discovered the 4 brainwaves. You spend 3 hours out of the body into the 5th dimension. The question is, where do you go? Most people, because they don't know what they're doing, or because they're arguing with their wife, or they're worrying about problems, or because they had too many drugs, they go to the lower astral plane. That's a very bad neighborhood. Like how? Well, except you can get out of it. Okay? Yeah. So it's like purgatory. Okay? Purgatory, okay. Whereas if you use the techniques I described in psychic protection techniques and more positive things, you can leave through the crown chakra, not through the 3rd chakra, which will take you to the lower astral. If you go to the crown chakra, which is where you want to go, now you go to the upper astral plane, or the causal, mental, etheric, or even soul plane. Those are all positive dimensions. Okay? The only 2 negative dimensions are the lower astral plane and this one. You have a lot of problems here. But the other dimensions are all positive. And each dimension has a sound and certain characteristics that are relevant to it. For example, if you're out of the body and you hear the roar of the sea, you're on the astral plane. If you hear the tinkling of bells like in a New Age bookstore, now you're on the causal plane where the Akashic records are stored. If you hear the sound of running water, you're on the mental plane. And if you hear the buzzing of bees, you're on the etheric plane. Or if you hear the sound of a flute, you're on the soul plane.
Oh, that's interesting, man.
I didn't actually know about UFOs and aliens at the time, so I just thought he was a strange person.
All of a sudden, in front of us were these 2 beings, these things.
Suddenly realized that he's not quite normal.
Smooth and soft looking. It looked like you'd slide right off if you tried to touch him. He'd just...
and all I could really see was its face. Really, really white in colour, and massive eyes. Couldn't really see the nose or the mouth.
But it was the eyes that made him.
So that kind of shape, I think the eyes were obviously a lot more fluid, round, shiny, protruded.
Almost like rugby balls, or American footballs. Huge eyes on the side of his...
The eyes. As if time had stopped around and we were just I was just completely engulfed in these eyes.
Secret footage from Antarctic shows why access is banned. Look at this. What is that stuff we are seeing there, good people of Earth? Is this looks like one of those stuff you have been seeing here that identity as UFOs, or what do you think that is? You see, there's something hovering around there. That looks quite suspicious. There's really a lot going on in this world. You see, you need to be honest with one another from wherever you are, and let us know what is going on around. You see, If we are being honest, we can even now figure out how to understand this stuff. You see, and what's really going on? Why would humans really hide information from other humans and they are still humans? You see, you should be loving to your neighbor and caring and good vibe. By the way, good people of us, take a look there at our merchandise shop and grab something if you can. You see, it will be a really motivating gesture. No one has done that. Imagine, no one. All along it has been there, but thanks to those guys that have taken a look, you see, it's a good thing. You see, even taking a look there and hoping that you get something to buy something there, it will be good, you see. And God will reward you with that something that you hope for. Much love to yourself, even for hitting the like button. That's always a very good gesture, you see. Oh, look at what's going down on there. Oh my God. What? This is crazy. What do you think those people are doing there? Or those creatures or those stuff in that thing? What do you think they're doing there? Maybe spying or harvesting stuff? Crazy, man. And this tree grew through the pavement inside the stop sign. Oh, wow! This is incredible. You see, these plants are just amazing. Man, full of good vibes. Yo, this is amazing. You see? Please, good people of earth, treat everything you see around you with good vibes, peace, loving, and caring. Like someone is always watching. Because after all, our creator is always watching. You see? Hmm. That's a good vibes trip. Oh, it also deserves some salute from wherever it is. You see? Big up to the tree itself. Much love. Hmm. Big up even to yourself, man. You see? To all those people that have been leaving some comments there. See, I'm big upping up this tree because it has really done some hard work to come out of that. You see? Someone rescued some dogs that had not eaten anything for a while. You see? And they carried the dog home. They prepared cardboard and boxes as its initial home. You see? And upon doing that, they prepared a hot dish for the dog. Oh, this is some good vibes, guy. You see? They put some anti-inflammatory drugs on that, and then they give the dog something to eat. You see? And the dog immediately got a new name. Oh, this is some good vibes gesture. This is nice, man. Good people of Earth. You see, when you see people doing this, it's very motivating. It shows us that there is true love and true humanity out there. You see, we should all be like this, always doing good stuff and spreading love where we can. Because the universe will always reward us. You see, this dog was worried for some time and it didn't eat after some seventh day. It began eating and it was nice, you see. And it had a rope tied across its neck and then it was removed eventually. Oh, this is a good vibes person, man. This is incredible. They treated the dog well, you see, but the dog was always trembling. Oh, this is so sad. You see, why would someone leave their dog like this on the street or do you think this dog just came out of nowhere? That's not nice. You see, good people of Earth. If you see animals out there and things and people that you can help, always do so. So it is very nice. You see, after almost 8 days, 10 days, this dog is now eating well. You see? Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Oh my God. And you see, the dog is still fearing. Oh. This is nice, man. This is a good vibes person. This is very nice. This is interesting. Respect to this human, man. From wherever they are, and good people of us. From wherever you are, man. Big up to yourself and much love. I believe you are also love ambassadors from wherever you are watching from. And you do gestures of love and goodwill and good vibes, you see? Not to be rewarded, but just to spread love in the community. and the world at large. And eventually it's like they were able to pet the dog. It had the previous injuries of why it had been tied with a rope. But this person treated this dog well. They give it some good food here, you see? And,
a whistleblower at Lockheed Martin has now come forward with stunning details about Lockheed's secret alien recovery program and reverse engineering program. You heard me right. A team that gets a phone call, goes out and recovers downed UFOs.
I get an email about 2 weeks ago. Says he was in the military. He worked for DIA. He said that Lockheed has its own NHI, non-human intelligent craft. Lockheed eventually broke through, his words, of how to successfully reproduce NHI, a non-human intelligent craft. They were so successful at it that they ended up not informing the government of their breakthrough. On top of that Lockheed created its own recovery team where they were tracking extraterrestrial craft along with aspects of the government, whether that be NORAD or JSOC. Listen to me very closely, folks, so that this team could pounce on their Lockheed craft that they reproduced that might have crashed so the government didn't get it.
Why are you judging yourself as being unworthy?
Because it's an old pattern.
But you now know it's a pattern, so therefore it's not anymore, is it? It's a choice. So why do you continue to choose to reject yourself when you know it's your choice not to? What makes it seem like the logical thing to do? What makes it seem like you deserve to reject yourself?
There's a certain safety in it.
Thank you for being honest.
Mm-hmm.
What is it you are afraid of going to instead? That is, in your estimation, less safe.
To a place where there is no rejection.
And why does that seem less safe than continuing to reject yourself?
Because I haven't been there before.
So you are saying you are afraid of the unknown?
Yes.
Do you understand that there's only one thing you can possibly ever discover in the unknown, and that's more of yourself? You are your universe. You-niverse. You are your universe. You fill it completely. There's nothing else in it. The idea is that whatever appears to be in the universe with you is your version of that thing. Any other people you interact with, you don't actually interact with them directly in that way. You create your version of them and populate your universe with your version of them in order to agree to interact with that person. So you're creating that anyway. So who is there in your own universe to reject you but you? And what is there in your own universe to discover but more of you? Nothing.
So everyone in my reality is just an aspect of me?
Everyone exists, but everyone you experience in your reality was created by you to interact with as a reflection of you. So they exist in their own right, but the only ones you actually interact with in physical reality are the reflections you've created to experience in your reality. That's why when you change your reality and you change your frequency, sometimes you may find that you no longer interact with certain people. They're simply no longer in that reality.
Okay. Well, what about people that you don't really directly interact with that are just like strangers passing by?
It's all an orchestration. As you said, there are no accidents.
Or are they real? Are they real, or are they just like robots? Or
all right, let's explain this again.
Okay.
It is all real and it is all an illusion. It is not this or that. It is this and that. The idea is that you have created them by agreement in the consensus reality to have an orchestration that may be serving them, maybe more than you understand how it needs to serve you, but nevertheless, you are still serving some purpose with everyone that you interact with. But the way you interact with people is by creating your version of them in your reality so that you can see them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing them. They'd be invisible to you. They are interacting with you. You are interacting with them, but you're interacting with them through a simulation that you've created in your reality. Does that make sense?
Watch this video with me. Did this woodpecker just disprove evolution? Yikes. Let's go ahead and play this.
So he grabs a hold of that tree, fans out his tail feathers, and then bangs his head into the tree.
Now, you would think that a woodpecker would go home every night and say to Mrs. Woodpecker, oh, I got this headache. I was banging my head on a tree all day. But he doesn't. Why? Well, because God made him with special equipment. For instance, between his beak and his skull, there's a piece of cartilage. It acts as a shock absorber. His skull is the thickest bone per body weight of any creature. As a matter of fact, brain surgeons study the brains of woodpeckers, how they're hooked in there and everything, to help them with like trauma people in accidents, that they need to put their brains back in there. And so they study woodpeckers. The woodpecker, with his strong skull and his shock absorber and his strong beak and his tail feathers and his feet, he's all ready to go except for one thing. Once he drills his hole, he's got to get that bug out of the tree, because that's lunch. All right, well, how's he going to do that? Well, most birds, their tongue goes right to the tip of the beak. A woodpecker's tongue goes as much as 10 inches out of his beak. Now, why? Well, because he's going to drill the hole, find the bug tunnel down in the tree, stick his tongue down in the tunnel, and drag the bug out. Now, you would have to say, could I stick my tongue down a hole in a tree and drag a bug out? Of course not. Well, how does the woodpecker do that? Well, God made the woodpecker with little barbs on the tip of his tongue, and he will literally stab that bug larva down in there because it doesn't want to come out. But in case that's not enough, he has a little glue factory in his tongue that manufactures exactly, precisely the right glue to stick to the bug, but it doesn't stick to his beak. And so he pulls that bug into his mouth. Now we have a problem. If evolution is true, let's say over hundreds of thousands of years, this woodpecker got all this equipment, and then he glues his tongue to a bug and he swallows the bug. What just happened to his tongue? He just swallowed his tongue. You know, he dies, he just strangled himself, okay? But he doesn't. Why? Well, because as he brings the bug into his mouth, he has another little factory that manufactures the solvent to dissolve the glue. So he dissolves the glue, loosens up the bug, swallows the bug. God made him that way.
All right, you can hear it a little bit as it went by, as the two ships went by, you could hear a little bit of a disturbance. With that in mind, watch this. Okay, see how that happened? Boom, right away the first one comes in, it's all broken up digital signal. Here you go. There's the...
What is going on here? Good people of us. Wonderful athletes. Thank you very much for watching up to this far. Respect and peace to yourself now. You see you always watching and hitting the like button. It's a good gesture, full of good vibes. And may God always reward you and bless you. See, with your family at large, with health and all the things that you may desire in this life, and protect you from disaster. You see? And always stick around for some episodes that will be coming your way soon. A fire one. And in the meantime, you can take a look at our merchandise shop there and grab something as wait for that episode. Goodbye, man. Peace and love be with you.